Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Christina, tu vecina favorita que maquilla, and today's video, this might trigger some people. I don't know. I never quite know with these videos. I'm sure I'll get some dislikes here, and that's fine. But I am speaking on this video because of, or on this topic, I should say, because of certain things I've seen popping off on YouTube lately within the Dominican YouTube community. And I just feel like we just can't ever not have drama surrounding us. Like, I don't know what it is about us Dominican. It's like sometimes I feel like we are such a conflicted group of people, whether it's us against other groups of people or even just amongst ourselves. You know, sometimes I'm like, do other groups of people face the same type of drama? Like, especially with like within the Hispanic community, because I feel like we the main ones. Either got people talking crap about us or we're talking crap to each other. Like, it's just a hot mess. But anyway, I decided to make this video because, you know, I sometimes question, is unity among Dominicans really possible? And I ask that because of a lot of discord I've been seeing among Dominicans on YouTube. And it's both Dominican YouTubers, content creators, as well as the viewers, like the people that comment under our videos. And, you know, I've noticed it's a lot of the same people, like it's a lot of the same group of us that frequent a lot of the same Dominican YouTubers' videos, and a few non-Dominican YouTubers that make videos about Dominicans. So I see a lot of the same people commenting on the same people's videos. And if it's not, you know, Dominicans, you know, arguing with other groups of people, it's amongst ourselves. So, you know, okay, so let me just first say that I think one thing we all have in common, regardless of where we stand on certain social, racial, or political issues, is that, you know, we all have a love for our Dominican culture. Like, that is hands down one thing I think we can all say. We all have a love for our culture, for our heritage, for our country, etc. But is that enough to really foster a sense of union and community among us? Because it seems like once you get past that initial level, and once you start to hear or express your opinions, that is when the discord starts to come in. And one thing that I've noticed being here on YouTube, that it's almost like having a difference in opinion is not welcomed or tolerated by certain Dominicans. Okay. It's like being open-minded or being open to having discussions with certain groups of people that some Dominicans may perceive to be our enemies is frowned upon. Okay. Now, if you as a Dominican, if there are certain groups of people that you believe are our enemies and that there should be no communication with them and that they should be blocked, hey, you're entitled to have your opinion. Y'all already know, I've said this many times before, we have our own opinions. We are entitled to have them, and nobody can get angry with us for our opinion. Like, my opinion is my opinion. You can get mad all you want, but I don't give a F, you know? So, I mean, that's one thing. Again, if you feel that way, that's how you feel. But sometimes I feel like, okay, so if we have these issues with a certain group of people, I mean, we can talk about it all we want, but why not take it a step further and try to start some type of discussion or try to mend the issues there with this particular group of people? Okay, like that has always kind of been my approach. And because of that, and because I have been open to everyone and having everyone come on my channel, that has resulted in certain people calling me an Afrocentric and all this crap because I don't shut certain other groups of Black people out. And see, this is my thing. Like, okay, so a few months ago, I made a video called "The Struggles of Being a Dominican YouTuber," and in that video, I talked about some of the nuisances and just some of the annoyances that sometimes Dominicans will go through in this country when it comes to the topic of race. Okay, because you know, at the end of the day, there are certain people that they are just like they do like to put all Dominicans in one box and say that we're all black, or be like, you are black, you should identify as black, when in reality, not all Dominicans are black. Yes, we all have black in us, but there are some that they are much more white leaning, and therefore I would not expect them to identify as black. But anyway, I just touched upon some of that stuff, the things that we experience from other groups of people, as well as some of the things we experience from our own people. But anyway, one thing that really stuck with me is somebody commented on that video. They are black, and they said, "Hey Christina, you have really helped me to understand where genuine Dominicans are coming from." And if you're watching this video, you may remember you said that to me. And that has just always stuck with me because, I feel like because of the fact that I didn't just shut these people out and I wasn't like degrading and I didn't bash them, that actually allowed this person who was not Dominican to listen to me and to hear me out and to understand where Dominicans are coming from when it comes to some of this racial stuff, when, trying to explain why we may identify with our culture before our race, or why some Dominicans don't identify as black. Like, when you take that type of approach, I feel like that kind of helps to mend some of the disagreement there, but some other Dominicans don't want to take that route, and they'd rather just be hateful or just shut these people out completely, which again, if that's what you want to do you. But my thing is, why is it difficult for us to acknowledge that we have differences in opinions without either bashing each other or slandering each other and just stuff like that? Like, why is it that some Dominicans feel the need to go the disrespectful route and call you names, or it's like they just can't accept that you have an opinion that's different than yours, or they can't expect that maybe you're not as narrow-minded as they are, which I'm sorry, some of you Dominicans are narrow-minded AF. Like, sorry to break it to you, but you are. And the things that I see most of the disagreement on amongst Dominicans is things like Trujillo. Like, whether you support him or you hate him. Like, some people, a lot of Dominicans to this day are still like Viva Trujillo. They still really support him and his legacy, and there's others that don't. Me personally, I don't know, he was a special individual. Like, I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I always did have a very negative view of him because that's just how I always saw him being portrayed. Now that I've learned a few more things and some of the things that he did for DR, I feel like he was a man of many faces, put it that way. Like, on the one hand, he was a little low-key psychotic, but on the other hand, he did do a lot of good things for the country. I mean, he relieved the country from a lot of the national debt. He really helped with the infrastructure of the country in certain cities. So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. Like, he did a lot of good, but at the same time, he did a lot of bad. So, it's like you can't label him as being completely bad, but you can't label him as being completely good either. Anyway, that's just my opinion on that. And then the other thing is the black thing. Y'all already know, we've been through this many times before. Many other YouTubers have talked about this, Dominican and non-Dominican alike, when it comes to us not claiming that we're black, or not wanting to be black, or denying that we're black, which is just, this topic, I feel like it's just never going to die. Like, look, are Dominicans black? The simplest, easiest answer are some aren't, point blank. And I mean, when I say that some are not, I mean those that are like way more European descent, that they're white passing, they don't get confused for being black. Like, they're just not black. Like, I'm sorry, they have black in them, but they're not black. However, the rest of us, why some Dominicans don't want to embrace that side of them. I don't know. I don't know. And personally, I don't know if it's because I have so many black people in my family. I mean, y'all saw the video of my family tree for those of you that watched it. I have a lot of black people in my family. So for me, the idea of being black and being Dominican was always just kind of like, yes. Like, it was never a thing. Like, yes, there are Dominicans that are black. Like, this is not news to anyone. At least I thought it wasn't. I mean, for me, that was always like the differentiating factor between us and like Central and South America, that black in us. So I don't know why some Dominicans seem to argue so much about that. And it's one thing I know that Dominicans try to defend the fact that overall we are a very mixed race population, which we are. I mean, Dominicans are hands down the embodiment of what a mulatto is, half white, half black. Like, that is DR in a nutshell. Of course, you have your outliers, you have your people that are more black and your people that are more white, but for the most part, we are a very mixed race country. So I understand wanting to explain that or defend that to other groups of people. But amongst Dominicans ourselves, sometimes I see Dominicans arguing about this. And I will say it's mainly the darker or the black Dominicans, at least that's what they say they are, arguing about this with other Dominicans, because it's like, I'm black though, so what's the issue with me calling myself black? Like, of course I'm still Dominican, but I'm black. Why do you have an issue with me calling myself black? Like, it's just very weird. I don't understand. Anyway, another issue is Haitians. Haiti, that is forever going to be an issue just because of our long, complicated history with them. And, you know, with the massive amount of Haitian immigrants in DR right now, there are people that hold a lot of resentment towards them, but at the same time there's people that doesn't. Just today I watched a video on Instagram from a town in DR, and there was a group of Dominicans that were basically defending this one Haitian guy that was there. He had like an ice cream cart, he was selling his ice cream, and I don't know if it was cops or who were trying to take him away, and the community actually came out and defended him, and they were like, nah, you ain't taking him. Like, they tried putting the Haitian guy in the back of a pickup truck, and they literally took him out of the truck, took his ice cream cart out of the back of the truck, and was like, nah, you ain't taking him. So obviously there's Dominicans that don't hate Haitians, you know. I mean, there's people on both sides. So are they any less Dominican? Are they any less patriotic or whatever? Do they have less love for the country because of the fact that they actually defended this Haitian man? And then, of course, there comes the issue with us and African Americans, which is like the number one thing I see all over YouTube. And I'm like, y'all, some of y'all make this so much more of an issue than what it actually is. I mean, I understand that there are Black American men that go to DR chasing women, chasing hookers, and chasing prostitutes, and they make videos about it. They promote the sex tourism. Is it wrong? Hell yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong. But to try to say that all Black men are going to DR chasing women is simply false. Statistically, the reality is most Black men marry Black women. Most Dominican women marry Dominican men. That is the overall statistical reality. And depending on where you live in the United States, most Black people didn't even know Dominicans existed. Like, on the East Coast, it might be a little different, or the Northeast, because I do think Black people have more of an awareness of who we are. But in other parts of the country, like, they ain't worrying about us. So it's like so many of these. Well, let me back up. And then the other side to that is, and this might make some people mad, but when people bring up or constantly bring up all these Black men going to DR, all these Black men going to DR, and they're chasing the Dominican women, and they're trying to have babies with Dominican women. But it's like, nobody's forcing these Dominican women to get with them. But nobody wants to talk about that. Like, nobody wants to talk about the fact that these Dominican women are making themselves available. And some of them are, out of their own will, choosing to be with this Black men. But yet nobody talks about that side of it. Anyway, these are just the type of things that I see conflict, you know, like kind of circulating around when it comes to us, Dominicans. Okay? And I mean, y'all already know I've had certain trolls on here call me a bunch of different names because I am open to Black people, like as far as having them on my channel and talking to them and blah blah blah. certain people say that I side with the Afrocentrics, and I'm just like, do I really though? Do I really? And this is how I know who really listens to me, because especially when it comes to the race topic and Dominicans, I'm actually quite neutral on that subject, just because Dominicans, we're all over the spectrum. So how am I going to sit here and be totally Afrocentric or even be totally Eurocentric when Dominicans as a whole are not either totally to one side? Like, you can be Dominican and literally be white as hell or be black as hell, and or everything in between. So how am I going to sit here and pick sides on that? But again, because I choose not to shut black people out, I'm an Afrocentric and this and that and the third. And it's just annoying. It's annoying that it's like you can't be open to different people. You can't be open to discussion with other groups of people outside of Dominicans without somebody trying to label you a certain type of way. So anyway, with all of that being said, the point is, why can't we as Dominicans just agree to disagree? Why can't we just agree to disagree? Because at the end of the day, what you as a Dominican perceive to be a threat might not be perceived to be a threat to another Dominican. So why can't we just agree to disagree on that? Why? Like, this is YouTube. This is an open forum. Not everyone is going to agree with what we say, including people from our own group. I know not all Dominicans agree with everything that I say, even though I try to be as neutral as possible on so many things, but people will still have an issue. But it is what it is. Like I said, at the end of the day, is unity among Dominicans possible? Okay, this was kind of long. All right, this is it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let's keep it respectful. And yeah. Can we just Dominicans get along? Is that so hard to do? Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Bye.